I'll give everybody a couple minutes to get back in here. That was crazy. Got something going on with my mustache here. Need to get a trim. Yeah. So that was the transfer agent. So yesterday I talked about this. I had this thing. It's actually I have it right here. All these pages I had to fill out to get them started on the forward split process. So the way it works, you have to send all the stuff to FINRA, and the transfer agent. So when you do a forward split, the transfer agent actually does most of the work. Yeah, there's some legal stuff involved, but the transfer agent does most of the work. They have to record the changes on the ledger. They have to send out any roundup shares, things like that. So most of the expenses, it's probably $10,000 in legal expense, and then there's whatever they're charging the transfer agent. Okay, so and the biggest portion of their fee is the event management fee. So yesterday I mentioned the event management portion was $16,000. There's a whole bunch of other stuff like tax administration, telephone support. Like it's $550 for telephone support. Okay, now our transfer agent is actually pretty awesome. It's the same transfer agent that GameStop has. I love them. They're amazing. I love them. All right. So I protested the fees on the event management portion, and they were nice enough to give us a little bit of a discount. Not what I wanted, but they're going to drop it by about $1,600. So we'll save $1,600 on the fees there. So that's nice. So she was just calling back to confirm that, and I'd already sent everything over to them, filled out that book that they needed me to send, and they're going to notify the attorneys, hopefully like imminent, like right now, that they can go ahead and file with FINRA. So got that done. All right. Yeah, so when I saw her calling, I guess that's the crazy thing about doing this live and in public. I mean, stuff's going to come up, and I have to take a phone call. So yeah, that was the transfer agent calling me, and I've been waiting for that call, so I had to bounce you guys. I'm sorry. All right. Where was I? I was talking about, the shares I bought. Yeah, so I bought 680,000 shares, 5 cents a share. I got a cashier's check, not a certified check, a cashier's check. A cashier's check, when you deposit that, it is regulated under the Expedited Funds Act, something like that. It's called Regulation CC. Basically, what Regulation CC says, if you deposit a cashier's check, the bank is supposed to credit that to your account within, at a minimum, if it's over like $5,250, you're supposed to credit $5,250 within 1 business day, and the balance within 2 business days. All right, so I go to the bank, I make the deposit, but the bank says, hey, we're going to put a 7-day hold on this cashier's check. So the cashier's check for the 680,000 shares I bought today is on hold at Metavesco at the bank for 7 days. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I suspect somebody in the back office, some compliance person will see that that's a cashier's check. It's guaranteed funds. Hopefully they'll see that and just credit it, because we need that money. We've got a lot of stuff we're trying to do. We've raised a lot of money. If you look at our filings in the last probably, I'll call it 3 weeks, 14 days. I think we've raised about $150K, all through restricted stock sales. It's not convertible notes. It's not any kind of notes. It's just stock sales, restricted shares, restricted for 2 years. Mine, of course, are minimum restricted 2 years, and then when and if I do sell them, there's additional restrictions that are required. Like you can only sell a certain percent every 90 days. You have to disclose all kinds of other things. Anyways, so we're at about 150, and I'm guessing, you can look on the OTC markets and see it, but I think it's about 150. But pretty much all of that, man, not all of it, but like 90% of that money probably is going into Epic Labor to fund, that's startup basically. I mean, I'm looking at it like a startup, and so it's gonna need cash. We're gonna have to feed that baby, because the employees, the workers, the temporary employees, they get paid every day, and you're waiting. The client's paying average probably 30 days. Industry average is around 30. I don't know what ours is yet. We'll find out, but based off the historicals, about 30 days. So, can't wait that long to get paid though. And as your business ramps up, you're actually cash negative, your cash flow negative as your sales are ramping up. Sales generally in the labor business, staffing business, they go up in the spring, they kind of peak September, October, they go down November, December, January, sometimes February. And so usually you're cash rich in those months, but you're operationally less profitable. So it's a bit of a dance. So in the summer, generally you're more profitable in the summer, but you're cash poor. In the winter, you're less profitable, but you're cash rich. And so really what you want to do in the winter is just make sure that you're not burning too much cash, and then put that money to work either in the spring or you look for acquisitions. That's not something we'll be doing this year, the acquisition part, but maybe in a year or two. Anyways, yeah, so you subsidize your cash flow by borrowing against the receivables, which is expensive. You're giving up, minimum, I'll call it 2.5% of your total top line. You're giving that up in fees to borrow against the receivables. It's very expensive. That's not a long-term, that's not sustainable long-term, okay? We're using that currently for two reasons. One, the way that the deal was structured, we're basically contractually obligated to finish out the term of the contract that was in place with Encore Capital. They're nice guys too, by the way. They're, I got nothing but good things to say about them. And that contract ends in May. So in the meantime, we're going to use them, and when May rolls around, we'll see where we are. I'd like to see us with enough cash where we don't have to borrow against it. But you got to understand, you could need, if you're running, let's say you run us $250,000 a week in revenue. All right, so $1 million a month. Your payroll on that, it's probably going to be about 180, 190. So you can do the math, just round it up for 200 for, even numbers. 200,000 a week in payroll and related costs, taxes, work comp. For a month, well, you're in $800,000 waiting for your client to pay. So if you don't borrow against your receivables, you need to be really stacked with cash. So we're not anywhere near those kind of numbers right now. I'm very confident we'll get there. That's kind of the whole point of doing this thing in the first place. I didn't do this to build something small. So yeah, there's that. But anyways, my day started out at about 9:30 being frustrated with the bank because they wouldn't give me immediate credit, or at least 24-hour credit, on this check I deposited. I have a great relationship with the manager. She's on vacation. So the teller's like, yeah, the only person that can approve this is the manager. And well, she's on vacation, so who's in charge when she's not here? Well, she's the only one that can do it. Well, who's in charge when she's not here? No one else here can do it. So I call their customer service number. I'm like, hey, I need this check, credited at least within like 24, 48 hours. It's guaranteed funds. But literally the bank the check was drawn on is across the street. Okay? And I know that they have a hotline to that number because there's other checks I've deposited there where they would call the bank and verify the cashier's check. So I know that they know how to do it. The same teller has done it. Anyways, I was really aggro about that. I try not to let it get the best of me because these kind of things happen when you're throwing around that kind of money. But, I'm having a hard time doing business with a bank that wants to put holds on cashier's checks. Okay, and the thing is, I selected this bank based on prior experiences with them, and they were always great for small business, but now I'm seriously reconsidering that I may have not picked the right bank for what we're trying to do. We're going to be moving around money a lot. So the employees of Epic Labor, the temporary employees, they get paid on a pay card. So it's almost like a prepaid Visa card. And so every day, employees, well, not every day, but most employees get paid every day. It's on-demand staffing. Hey, I need 20 people to work today. I may not need 20 tomorrow, but I need them today. And as a tool for recruiting, we pay them same day in most cases. So employee comes in, it's like, hey, here's my time card. I worked 8 hours, whatever. Okay, boom, here, you made $150, whatever it is. We send those funds to the pay card that they have. Okay, again, it's like a prepaid Visa. So you're talking about every day doing payroll, but it's immediate cash out the door. Okay, so we have one account where we hold those funds that's connected to the pay card. It's a bank account I wouldn't call it a checking account. I don't know what you call it, clearing account probably. So we send money to that account, and then we have a dashboard where we can go in and we can allocate funds and push funds to their cards every day. But you got to figure, because we're doing payroll every day, the amount of money that has to be put in there is, it's ongoing. So it's not like, you deposit it once for the whole month, unless you're just sitting on just a ton of cash. You're not doing that. So you're probably depositing once or twice a week. Right now, we're doing about twice a week. I mean, we just got started. We're only 2 weeks in. But, so I have to go down to the bank and do that manually because they don't have me set up yet for the online banking to do it, where we can just do like an ACH or a wire online. They say they're working on it. Okay. But my concern with them is, A, they're moving very slow on features we've asked for, and B, just the fact that they put a hold on a guaranteed funds check from a local bank across the street. It gives me pause for another reason also. So we, in addition to having all the labor accounts there, the Metavasco main account is there. Now, if they don't like moving money around and they don't like cashier's checks, they're most definitely not going to like seeing a deposit from Coinbase from our Bitcoin mining. So I've already kind of got it in my head. I'm going to be getting a phone call at some point saying, hey, what's all this money from Coinbase? Where's that coming from? And I'd be willing to bet if I say Bitcoin mining, they're going to be like, you're going to have to find another bank. So in the back of my mind, I'm already like, yeah, we're kind of screwed on that. We're going to have to go find another bank. I hope not, because I do like them. I'm not happy today, but a lot of that's emotion driven. Okay. So anyways, this morning I probably wasted 2 hours just trying to get that done. And then we got an ad post for a customer service rep, looking for a customer service rep in Augusta, Georgia. We had got that put up on ZipRecruiter. We got that posted on LinkedIn. I touched base with the branch manager candidate in Augusta. She's on board. I said that yesterday. I touched base with her this morning, just to let her know that I'd heard back from the leasing agent for the property, the location we found. Great location. I talked to the leasing agent. Her name was Whitney. They want $26 a foot for the lease. If you don't know, most warehouse, retail, commercial space, when they quote you, they don't say, oh, well, it's $3,000 a month rent. They quote you a per square foot on an annual basis. So this particular location, it's $26.50 a foot. There's two different spots available. One is 1,200, one is 1,500 square feet. So basically you would take 1,200 times 26.50, and that's your annual rent. And you just, if you want to know what your monthly is, you divide by 12. They don't quote it that way, like here's your monthly rent. And the reason is, if you've got a whole bunch of different properties, you don't want to have to price every single unit. You just say, well, it's this much per foot. And that way they can easily control how much they're charging. And if they want to raise their rates, it's really easy to do it, across the board in a, nice clean way. So $26.50 a foot, I feel like that was a little high. So she sent me this stuff. I called the lady back and I'm like, yeah, here's all the financial information. Here's all my credit stuff. She asked for a personal guarantee, which I generally do not do. I talked about this a little earlier on Twitter, but I agreed to it in the interest of getting it done quickly. Because I need to get that office open yesterday, okay? So anyways, she said, okay, great. I told her, I was like, look, you gotta do something with this rate. Now it does include CAM. CAM is common area maintenance. So usually when you get quoted, whatever per foot, there's also an add-on that's your common area maintenance fees. The $26.50 does include CAM, which is, that's good, but I still feel like it's a little high. So I told her we need to do something with that. Additionally, I told her we needed the exit clause, 6 months. I'll pay you 6 months rent, you let me out of the lease. She did not like that idea. So I do have concerns that they might just be too difficult to work with, and I'm not entirely sure what I'll do about that. Some of these are going to be non-negotiables. I mean, I already agreed to do a personal guarantee, which I don't like. I sent her personal financial statements, which I don't like. I gave her my social security number, which I don't like. So, yeah. I told her we wanted a 2-year lease. She said, we don't usually go that low. I said, okay, well, I'll go 3, but you most definitely have to give me an exit clause, because if the neighborhood goes to crap, I don't want to be there. So, anyways, long story short, she's going to talk to her partners or whatever, and she'll get back to us on that. I don't know. I'm hopeful, because I really like the location. I think it does everything that we need it to do. It's close to the worker base. You want to be close to where the workers are. So, yeah. I sent over, that's really all from the Epic Labor end of things. We're trying to find some vendors for some flies and things like that. Brandon's handling all that. You know, it's just kind of minutia, really, but he's taking care of all that stuff. I sent the bourbon mock-ups that Ray prepared. I sent those over to Pixie. She loved them. So, we're going to be having some conversation about perks. And what do I mean by perks? Pixie's idea, and I actually think it's pretty brilliant, is that when you buy a bottle of this bourbon, which we've got a great name picked out for this stuff, okay, a great brand, it's going to be awesome. But her idea is when you buy a bottle of this stuff, you're basically, it should be like a membership club kind of deal, and there should be perks. Maybe it's something I think she wants to tie it into NFTs, and while I personally like that idea, I'm scared to do anything with NFTs or crypto right now because of the SEC. I mean, today they filed a lawsuit against a market maker, Cumberland. I mean, you know, if anything in crypto, they're just suing everybody. And I just don't think the squeeze, spit on myself here, I don't think the squeeze is worth the juice. So, I don't know, but she's pretty brilliant, and Ray's pretty brilliant, and I'm sure between the three of us, we'll come up with, you know, something that could be interesting, you know, beyond just the quality and the look of the bourbon. Ray did a really great job with the concept. He sent me 3 different concepts. I like all 3 of them, honestly. So we'll see what happens there. I expect, I know I've been saying this probably for like 10 days now. Yeah, we'll have that information soon on what we're doing there. But I do think we'll have something definitive on a direction next week with the bourbon brand. And it will be a limited series. And I think the idea is that we want to do something that's like a limited series, like every 60 or 90 days. So like, you know, for this quarter, this is the brand. Here's what you get. It's a limited series, limited edition, collector's type, you know, feel about it. Maybe you join some kind of club and get some kind of benefit for it, you know. And then, you know, when the quarter's over, you launch another one, you know, a different, you know, concept, okay? And that was Pixie's idea, and I love it. And again, I think she got that idea kind of from, you know, NFTs, her experience with NFTs, where you have like a series of concept art, and then you have an updated series, you know, things like that. So I think it's a good concept, good idea. We'll see how it shakes out. But I do want to get that moving. On the water side, look, we got 6 pallets of water. Public service announcement. If you know anyone that is still feeling impacts and has a need from either Helene or Milton for water, and it's hard to do cases. Like it really needs to be a situation where we can do a whole pallet. It just costs us too much. I mean, we ate the cost on all this. It just costs too much to send a case. But if you have a situation where somebody needs a large quantity and they can take a whole pallet and put that to good use in a community, please, you know, leave a comment or shoot me a DM if I'm following you, so we can get that out. That is as far as the water goes. Yeah, we're doing some advertising and marketing for that, but I think we all agree the priority is to use what we have to help where we can. It was never intended to be a long-term revenue stream. It was never intended to be a long-term model. It was situational, kind of like a limited series kind of thing. It's like, hey, here's a brilliant idea. There's some traction on this conversation, and let's take advantage of it and try to push a really cool product out. We did, but like I said, I'd rather get that to communities that need it. It's not central to our business. And yeah, we're going to take a little hit on what we're, you know, just giving away, but I am a spiritual man, and I believe that whatever we might be losing on that, I believe that comes back around tenfold. So I'm really not that, you know, concerned about it, and I think it's just more important to be helpful to those communities in need. And these are communities where we want to do business later too, so it's like a twofer, you know. I mean, when we open up Augusta, we're going to be able to go down there and say, yeah, we donated, hell, I think we donated 9 pallets of water in Augusta. I mean, that's 72 cases a pallet, 12 bottles in a case. I mean, that's a lot of water that we donated in the CSRA area, Central Savannah River area, which is Augusta and the greater Augusta, right? So, yeah, so I feel good about what we're doing there. And that's really all I got, man. Trying to think if there's anything else really. I didn't get to watch the LTNC shareholder meeting. I tried to watch the live stream, and I just was having constant sound issues, video issues. So I don't know if it was just my internet. I did see some other people comment that they were having trouble with it. So I don't know. Hopefully they'll post a link. Maybe they didn't, I just didn't see it. But hopefully they'll post a link where we can rewatch it and just kind of check that out. Because I really want to see it. I did see some video where, some content, you know, clips, with Tom Zara getting out of the locked-in van. It was really cool. And I'm really excited for what they're doing there. I don't really know any more than what everybody else knows, but I mean, I've been invested in that for a long time, obviously, and excited to see what they do with it. You know, I've been waiting for that big payoff for a while, and you know, we'll keep waiting and see what pops. What else? I think that's it. Yep, that's it. Well, look, I don't know if I'll have a drive home tomorrow or not. I am meeting with Brandon. We're supposed to meet tomorrow around lunchtime. Kind of just circling back on all the stuff we've been working on this week, and if there's any big updates that come out of that, I'll certainly get on here and communicate that. Look, I'd really like to have some questions on this stuff. You know, if you guys, I mean, it's hard to do it while I'm driving. Obviously, if you're commenting, I can't even see the comments on here anymore. But if you have questions about any of this stuff that we're doing, you know, please feel free to tweet at me or mention me or, you know, whatever. You know, I'm an open book, baby. Just ask questions and we'll talk about it. All right, so have a kick-ass evening, and we'll talk soon.